Good morning. Today is Wednesday, April 6th, and it's a white day. Mr. Despin's Sport Medicine 2 classes are to meet in Ms. McGarvin's classroom, Streeter 225, for class today. Attention all National Honor Society members and incoming inductees. The ceremony rehearsal has been rescheduled from Friday afternoon to Sunday at 1:45 p.m. Check your STJ Labs email for additional information about Sunday's ceremony and see Mrs. Reed in guidance with any questions. Attention international students. Any student wanting to take the May 14th TOEFL must register by April 14th. Email Mrs. McCaffrey at mmccaffrey@stjlabs.com or stop by the guidance office to register. Space is limited and priority will be given to juniors. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, the outing club will not meet this week. Look for announcements next week when we will resume our indoor climbing. Students interested in applying to Upward Bound, please stop by the guidance office today. Badminton Club meets in the Field House today, right after CP. Badminton, today, Field House. Science Olympiad will meet today, Wednesday, April 6th, this week, from 3:30 to 4:30 in Streeter 241. If you are in sports and cannot meet, contact Mr. Eckel about how you can participate during April and May. Are you ready to try out Science Fair? Do you have a question that is crying out for evidence from experiments you want to do? Maybe you have something you want to observe carefully over a period of time to better understand. Interested in maybe even winning recognition and prizes floating your boat in the pool of wonder? Then join us at Science Fair to learn about how to develop and conduct a research plan on Monday, April 11th. Meet in Streeter 241 with Mr. Eckel from 3:30 to 4:30. Happy belated birthday yesterday to Colton Masseur and Dominic Warren. Happy birthday today to Oliver Huntington, Madeline Atkinson, and Grace Hagler-Ellis. Happy birthday. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Nathan. Good morning, St. Johnsbury Academy. I have a few late announcements. Girls Ultimate Frisbee beat BFA St. Albans 15-2, and Boys Varsity Ultimate beat BFA St. Albans 15-11. In the 10-team track and field meet at Burlington yesterday, Ozzy Al-Said Ahmed won the pole vault and triple jump for the boys. Connor Collins won the 110 hurdles. Hale Boyden, the 1,500, Nathaniel Bernier, the 3,000, and Andrew Thornton Sherman, the 300 hurdles. The boys also won all three relays to win the meet 250 to 182 for runner-up Essex. The girls were led by Lizzie Jones as she won the long jump, triple jump, and pole vault to a second-place finish. Other event winners were Brooke White in the shot put, Hazel Fay in the 300 hurdles, and the 4x400 relay of Brooke, Hazel, Franny Cousins, and Desiree Mendez. Lots of winning. Good job, you guys. I also want to mention that Lizzie Jones was just named the Gymnast of the Year by the Caledonian Record. Congratulations. I am happy to bring to the stage Mr. Arain, who has an update for us on the war in Ukraine and promotion for an event tomorrow. Mr. Arain.
Good morning, St. Johnsbury Academy. It's a pleasure to join you again. Yes, indeed, the war in Ukraine, as you all know, continues. There has been some good news and some bad news. The good news is that the Russians seem to be withdrawing out of the area of Kyiv, the capital city. So Ukraine has had some success in clearing the invaders out of those regions. The bad news strategically is that most of these Russian soldiers and units are probably just going to be repositioning into the eastern part of the country, where it appears they are digging in to try and seize the eastern part of Ukraine and to hold it for good. The siege on the city of Mariupol down in the south continues. Humanitarian convoys that have been trying to get civilians out have been repeatedly blocked, and so that fails. The really dire news comes, however, out of a suburb area of Kyiv, a small town called Bucha, where it is quite apparent that real crimes of war have been committed against the civilian population there. There have been many civilians found, killed, some of them having been clearly tied up first and then shot point blank. And attacks on civilian populations like that are a crime against humanity. They are a war crime. And so that doesn't really change the status of the war. It might change the motivation for some people, and it might change the consequences of this war if we ever get to a point where people can be prosecuted for those crimes. But I'm really here today to talk about an opportunity tomorrow at 3:45 in the Mayo Lounge downstairs in the library. I will be screening a documentary put together by PBS's Frontline series. This is called Putin's Road to War. It is a 1-hour program that very succinctly looks at Putin's history, going all the way back to his days in East Germany as a KGB officer, to then becoming the president of Russia, and then looks at his actions that, in hindsight now, we can see we're headed toward a sort of conflict like this. It's the kind of hindsight, it's the kind of insight you get only looking backwards. So if you want to understand this war better, understand its genesis, and understand the man who has brought it upon us, this is a great 1-hour program to get a lot of insights on that. So this will be from 3:45 to 4:45. We will be starting this video very promptly at 3:45. There will be 15 minutes afterwards for some discussion and some question and answer, and that will be it. Since we're in the Mayo Lounge, that space is being used right now during the day, and so the accommodations in there are not the most comfortable. There are desks, that's where I'll be sitting. But if you want to bring along a blanket or something to make yourselves comfortable sitting on the floor, or if you want to sit in a desk, whatever, I'll be happy to have you there, and we'll make it a nice, pleasant 1-hour experience. For resident students, I will be taking attendance so that you can get credit for your afternoon activity. So please bear that in mind as well. So the more the merrier. I hope to see you. And if you can't come tomorrow after school, keep in mind this is a great documentary that you can watch on YouTube. Again, it's called Putin's Road to War. It's a PBS production, excellent journalism, and I hope we can all benefit from this and benefit from a better understanding of what is happening in our world today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Arain. It's hard to stay aware of things. I was glad to see many of you wearing teal ribbons and clothes yesterday in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. April's a month with an uncommon number of designations regarding awareness. It's not only Sexual Assault Awareness Month, but also the Awareness Month for autism, for child abuse, for prevention of cruelty to animals and Parkinson's disease, and stress. It's a lot to be aware of. I like the instinct, though, to be aware and to stay aware of those things that may not always come to the surface in all of our daily lives, but that can dominate and threaten to define the lives of others, and some of us. It's good for us to be aware of each other and the lives and needs of other people, even when that's not easy. Each one of us is dealing with something difficult at some point or another. April is also the National Month of Hope. Given some of the things that we as a community have been facing, and some of the things happening in the larger world, as Mr. Arain just described. And given our desire to remain aware and engaged with the struggles of others in order to mitigate them, we need hope right now as much as we need food and water. April is also National Poetry Month. This may seem less significant, but I think most of you know that I have a belief in the power of language and the power of poetry as a distillate of language in particular, to enable us to feel in ways that make us act more human, to be aware, to attend more sharply to our lives. Poetry can help us to feel hope. So this morning I want to share a poem by American poet Denise Levertov called Making Peace, as we think about what power we have to make a difference in the world by seeking to understand it. The poets must give us the imagination of peace, the poem's speaker says. Peace is not only the absence of war, but an energy field more intense than war. This poem, the language that creates its own matter, can create light out of dark. It's what we need right now, folks. We need peace. We need to stop fighting. We need to find the light in ourselves, and if we can't find it, we need to make it. So, Making Peace by Denise Levertov. A voice from the dark called out, "The poets must give us imagination of peace to oust the intense, familiar imagination of disaster. Peace, not only the absence of war." But peace, like a poem, is not there ahead of itself. It can't be imagined before it's made. It can't be known except in the words of its making. Grammar of justice, syntax of mutual aid, a feeling towards it, dimly sensing a rhythm is all we have, until we begin to utter its metaphors, learning them as we speak. A line of peace might appear if we restructured the sentence our lives are making, revoked its reaffirmation of profit and power, questioned our needs, allowed long pauses. A cadence of peace might balance its weight on that different fulcrum. Peace, a presence, an energy field more intense than war, might pulse then, stanza by stanza into the world. Each act of living, one of its words, each word, a vibration of light, facets of the forming crystal. Thank you. Have a good day.